Great day ahead, listeners, and welcome to Law Podcast of Episode 4, and welcome to our first episode of Ecology Radio, a small initiative by Law students under Ecology Club. And I'm Raj with you today, and the theme of our first episode will be prosecuted. Well, today I came with an interesting fact for you, and it's definitely gonna blow your mind. Well, that research has shown that witnessing or participating in animal cruelty can have lasting effects in humans, especially in children's mental health. While understanding these consequences helps raise awareness and emphasizes the importance of preventing such acts. Well, I think everyone have guessed the topic today. Yes, it's on animal cruelty. Well, regarding our topic today, I have an expert in this field, Mr. Kelvin Cheah, the General Manager of SPCA Selangor with us today to give insightful knowledge and create more awareness to us on animal cruelty. So good day, sir.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kelvin Cheah. I'm from SPCA Selangor. Thanks for inviting me over, and I'll love to share whatever I know with everyone.
Well, that's the enthusiastic. So, sir, may I know your expertise in your field and how does it align with our topic today on animal cruelty, please?
Well, I understand this is not exactly like a professional field, like unlike medical doctors or like lawyers and all that, but it's definitely a very niche industry to be in. Well, to call it industry is really stretch it a bit. We are basically just a non-governmental organization that is specialized in animal welfare. To take note, we are not animal activists, so we don't do a lot of things like protesting and all that, but we do over the time, sometimes when important issues come up, we do stand firm on our ground. And say, for example, a couple of years ago, we protesting against lab animal testing, right? I think it's a very important issue that everyone should know about. Luckily, Malaysia has already banned lab animal testing. And also some other more day-to-day issue, although it may seem minor, but animal welfare, things like you have seen animals being caged,
yes,
right? Animals being chained all the time,
yeah.
not given like proper food, water, and all that. So yeah, that's where we are as a whole. I've started this working with SPCA Selangor since 2011, not long after I graduated as well. The reason being is that back then, we were talking like more than a decade ago, this kind of animal welfare thing, it's not that popular. Well, to call it popular is a bit like undermining the importance of it, but you get what I mean, right? People are more focusing on like humane issue, orphanage, old folks, abandoned babies and all that. I'm not saying that they are less important. It is a humanity issue if you think about it, everything in general.
Yeah.
But I just when it comes to like animals, it's always like a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when I first joined, there was a case about animal cruelty issue about pet shops. Somebody sent not somebody, like a lot of people sending cats for boarding. Boarding is like a hotel stay.
Oh, okay.
Right, to a pet shop, and then the neglect causing the death of over 300 cats. All right, this issue is major. Right, if you think about it, it cost the life of 300 cats. Tapi, because of that time, the Animal Welfare Act is not Animal Act is not updated yet. It was from 1950 something, 1940 something, 1950 something, or 1960 something. I don't remember. It was during that era, and then it was never updated to the latest penalty and all that. So the worst penalty that the owners got was only 200 ringgit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which involved like 300 cats. You think about it, it's ridiculous. So that's the reason why I choose to be where I am.
Oh, that's really impressive, and that's really a good expertise, I guess. And yeah, how did you say just now was true that animal rights always been a secondary issue, secondary class issue? Yes. So as our general manager of SPCA Selangor, so let me give a brief introduction about SPCA Selangor. So well, SPCA Selangor is a respected integrated animal welfare organization registered with the Registrar of Societies since 1958. SPCA Selangor promotes kindness and compassion towards all animals, great and small, aiming to alleviate cruelty and reduce suffering, like how Mr. Kelvin explained just now. And the main 6 pillars of SPCA Selangor includes shelter and adoption, spay or neuter services, education, investigation of animal abuse, assistance to caregiver, and lobbying the government. And a new pillar was added in 2020, which is to promote farm animal welfare as well. So, Mr. Kelvin, what as a public us that we could contribute to SPCA Selangor in order to fulfill the objective of it and also to prevent animal cruelty as well?
Okay, so animal welfare is actually like a ever evolving field of industry lah. Okay, I will go back to industry again.
Okay, yeah,
but actually, I just mean that the priorities shift. The priorities are constantly shifting. So let's say like 10 decades ago, the priority was more on like sheltering the animals. All right, anyone can just bring in animals that they see on the street, they picked up from the street. So that's when SPCA Selangor has what we call open policy. All right, it means that you can just bring in animals, no question asked, we'll just take in. Problem with that policy back then is that every animal that you picked up, we take in, we call it rescue or surrendering. Basically, we just shove it into a cage.
Oh, okay.
And then if they get adopted, great. If not, then how? They spend the rest of their life inside the cage. Do you think that you actually rescue an animals? You basically just picked up an animals which had freedom on the street, and then you just shove it in somewhere that they have no freedom to move at all.
Yeah.
So then 2013 that we decided that this is not a way forward. Okay, we have to think of a more modern solution. Like modern issue, we need modern solution.
Yeah.
So we think of this new concept called life equality.
All right.
Life equality means that the animals that you rescued must have be given the choice to live the life that they wanted to. So let's say currently our new changes since 2013 is that we no longer have like caging policy, except for quarantine area and isolation for sure, because those animals need to be isolated, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, other kennels and other catteries, catteries means our cat room all animals that we bring in, they will not be caged anywhere.
Oh, okay.
So they are given the choice and the freedom to socialize with other animals or with any visitors or any volunteers.
Oh,
okay.
I see.
I would like to preface this thing by saying this is not we are not perfect. It may not be the best way for every animals, because understand that some animals get stressed out when they have too much freedom as well. So it's case by case basis. We do have some animals that get stressed out after being brought into a shelter. So and then they sometimes they either lost their appetite, and then the worst case is that they just die. So we also like slowly over the years we improve our policy bit by bit lah. So the recent one is that rescuers still can bring in animals, but they will have to be on waiting list.
Oh, I see.
So let's say we can free up some space, and then the animals come in after the waiting list of up to their turn lah. They bring in, and then if the animals don't get adopted within a certain time, say 2 months,
I see.
and then we will call the rescuer, and then they can bring them back, and then they can try to rehome again. So that way, the animals didn't spend way too long a time in the shelter itself.
I
all right,
see.
and then they still get a chance to get rehome. And then also when the rescuer bring the animals back, the other rescuer can come in.
Oh, I see.
So that way we can like cycle through all our waiting list. Our waiting list is like super long. Currently, cat's waiting list is about 6 to 8 months long.
Oh, okay.
And then dog waiting list is like ridiculous. It's about 18 months long right now.
Oh, I see.
So it means that you can like come in with a dog. I'll probably call you 18 months after.
Oh, I see.
So that's one way for the public to help to rescue animals. But there are other ways to help as well, because we are constantly organizing a big project. So right now, the second big project will be what we call Potong Royong. It's not Gotong Royong, it's Potong Royong.
Yeah.
Potong Royong is referring to like the snipping and the cutting of the reproductive organ, the removal of reproductive organs.
Oh, okay.
The neutering, pemandolan. So we want to encourage rescuers and owners to mando their animals, because the reason why we end up with so many stray animals on the street, the main majority of the reason is actually the non-neutering of pet animals. They ran out, they impregnated other animals, or they come back with pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
And then they give birth, and then guess where the baby animals go? They have to find a home.
Yes.
So where do the owners, if they cannot find a home, where do the owners send to? A shelter.
A shelter,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if these animals keep on coming in and then keep on increasing, we cannot rescue other animals,
Yes,
right? Because
yeah.
they will take up physical space. So that's one. Potong Royong is what we call a mass subsidized neutering project.
Oh, okay.
So this is the second year we're doing it, and we have been doing in, the first one was in Sri Nanding, Hulu Langat.
Oh, okay.
The second one was in Klang last year. And then this year, March, we just wrapped up one in Subang Jaya. And then coming one actually is next week. We are having in our center itself.
Alright.
It's sponsored by Xiaomi,
okay.
the electronic giant. And then we have another one lining up July, August. That one also in SPCA, Ampang.
I see.
That one will be bigger scale lah. So we aim to do like 400-500 animals every time. And then another one will be end of the year. That one we haven't decided yet. We're thinking between like Klang or Shah Alam could be a joint.
Oh, I see.
So any residents in that area, as long as your animal is not pedigree, you can send it over. We will do it at subsidized rate.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's Potong Royong. Then there's another third project. It's very rare. You probably never heard of it. It's more on needing volunteers. So that's how the public can help, volunteering.
Oh, all
But
right.
this one is more specific because it goes back to like 2020 to 2021. Remember the worst flood in Selangor,
Yeah.
in Sri Muda, Shah Alam area? So that time we had this project called Flood Aid Project,
Oh, okay.
right? So that one we recruited that project alone. Every single day we recruited over 150 volunteers every day. Because we went into the flooded area, so we need experienced volunteers. So, well, because that was the first time we have it at that scale back then, so we had a lot of new volunteers actually being very helpful as well. So we helped the entire area of Sri Muda, and then after that we moved to Sri Nanding. We set up a satellite center there. So a lot of volunteers have been super, super helpful, and we are really, really appreciate that. So volunteering is great.
Oh, I see.
So there are other things that you can do as well, of course, like donating monetary donation, but we also take in like donation in kinds,
Oh, I
right?
see.
Like any items like dog food, puppy food, kitten
Yeah.
food, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So that was a really good thing that SPCA Selangor could do, and we as a public, we may donate and become a volunteer as well, and adopt our paw friends as well in order to, to achieve the objective of SPCA Selangor as well. So, Mr. Kelvin, as you mentioned just now, that this industry is always evolving. So, why do you think that? What's the main factor that makes such evolvements?
So the main thing I think is like society. You see, like 10 years ago, a lot of people that have no, like not saying zero lah, but they are not as well informed in terms of like animal welfare. Like 10 years ago, we had this department called inspectorate. Sorry,
okay.
inspectorate. So what inspectorate did back then was investigation of animal cruelty cases and rescuing.
I
So
see.
that was the thing that we really active back then, but it's already because due to human resources, we don't have that many people, so we actually slow down or even stopping this department already.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but then back then, between 2011 until 2017, I was the one doing actively along with my colleague Kunera. We were doing a lot of investigation of cruelty cases. So I can tell you, like statistically speaking, a lot of people having pets, but they do not know how to take care of the pets.
Oh, that's
Because
bad.
out of the average of 70 cases that come in every single month, all right,
Okay.
70% of those cases are about pet animals. You'll be
Oh.
surprised. You will thought, oh, maybe people report cases about stray animals on the street, but no,
Yeah.
those are actually not that many at all.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So a lot of people reported about neglection, right? Like I said earlier, like the owners chaining up the animals, caging the animals for prolonged time, duration of time. Those are actually like animal cruelty by itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then back then, like people not so well informed, they thought, oh, my animals, I have to keep it safe, so let's chain it up.
Yeah.
All right. And then that's why last time we have a lot of cases where people actually afraid of dogs at home because the dog, after being chained up for a prolonged time,
Yeah.
they get a lot of pent up energy and then they become aggressive. They become extremely defensive because they don't have the freedom to do whatever they want. I mean,
Yes.
like the activities are not whatever they want, lah, right?
Yeah.
And then dog training also is not the norm back then.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. Other than the cost itself, but I think the priority is just not there. People have a dog, they just think that the dog can be used as jaga rumah, ke jaga kilang, ke jaga something.
Yeah.
But problem is that they do not like filter through the type of dogs that they have.
Yeah, true.
Right. For example, lah, right. Did you know that not every kind of dog is a good guard dog?
Yes.
Right. A lot of people think that I must get the aggressive one, or I
Yeah.
must get the male dog, or I must get the Rottweiler, I must get the German
Yeah.
Shepherd. But did you know that some Rottweilers are so friendly they are
Yeah.
unable to function as a guard dog?
Yeah, true.
they are great family dog, but they just can't function as a guard dog. So
Yeah.
another example is that we have people keep on thinking, male dog must be a good jagger, right? No, nah. When you have another on hit female like lingering outside, male dog is the first one to shoot out the gate. They're not
Yeah.
going to get jagger anymore after they shoot out the gate. So yeah, that's the thing lah.
All right, Mr. Kelvin. So as you've mentioned about cats and dogs like rescued from SPCA Selangor, so SPCA Selangor is like mainly and primarily focuses on cats and dogs, or also other kinds of animals as well.
That's a funny story actually. Yes. On paper, yes. Dog, cat, tapi over the years I've seen so many type of animals that have been
okay.
surrendered to SPCA. Long time ago we had ular sour. We have a ball python. We have hamsters, guinea pigs, apa lagi rabbits, all kind of things. But problem is that because we choose to focus only on dogs and cats, so if we were to bring in like what we call haiwan exotic, the exotics or the smaller animals like haiwan kecil and exotic, that's a special group lah. It's actually not good for their mental well-being because we are placing them so close to other dogs and cats. It introduces a lot of stress.
Oh, okay.
So last time when we had like a bunch of guinea pigs, we have no choice but place them next to our cats because we have no rooms, right?
Yeah.
So we found an empty room and then put them in. But the guinea pigs somehow they can sense the predators is just like next door.
Yeah.
So they keep on stressing out and then keep on making noise, like the guinea pig noise, right? So yeah, then after that we just adopt them out as soon as possible to avoid placing them under duress. Yeah.
Oh, I
So for now, I'll say yes, only dogs and cats.
Oh, I see. So I thought like SPCA Selangor is primarily focusing on cats and dogs, but yeah, you guys
Yeah,
do
on policy
focus on
actually we're
reptiles.
supposed to like all animal welfare, which is
Yeah.
why we have the farm animal welfare, but we are not keeping any farm animals. Well,
Yeah.
I do have the plan to bring in some chickens, but we'll see.
Yeah. Good luck on that. So let's go to the interesting part of our podcast today, and which is the question and answer session. So, Mr. Kelvin, you ready for that?
Yes.
Wow, love the enthusiasm.
Dang,
So
dang,
the
dang.
first question for you is, what are the different forms of animal cruelty, both intentionally and unintentionally? I think you have touched this part a little bit just now.
Yeah.
So let us look more narrow down to the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's excellent question. Actually, people sometimes just unknowingly committed animal cruelty, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so like sometimes animals are in part of our life. We try our best to give them the best that we could, but sometimes
Yes.
it's just the wrong thing to give. Let's start from I'll say intentional cruelty, like that's easiest, right?
Okay.
Physical abuse. Over the years, we've seen so many cases.
Yeah.
People intentionally abusing the animals that they don't like, that's the difficult part. You see, we are living in a society, all right.
Yeah.
There are constantly going to be like conflict
Yes.
between many parties. Animal lovers, non-animal lovers, and animal neutral. We must always remember that we are all the same in and equal in the society. We cannot just say because we are animal lovers, we have to like ignore the requests of non-animal lovers and animal neutral lists. All right,
Okay.
we have to take into their input as well. What if these people like the animal lovers and animal neutralists, they have allergy to animals? All right, we
Yeah.
cannot just say that we are animal lovers, so what you say is wrong or whatever. We can't. We have to take into account everybody's input, and then we try to come up with the best solution for everyone without harming or decreasing the freedom of certain parties.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's equal. Remember that. So that in turns that we try to come up with a lot of prevention method
All right.
because we are society for the prevention of animal cruelty. We are not a
Yes.
society of solving animal
Yeah.
cruelty. So the main thing we realized is that through the investigation experience that we had a couple of years ago, right? I told you most of the cruelty cases come from pet animals, not
yes,
stray
yeah.
animals. So what happens usually is that the pet animals run out of the house,
Yeah.
right? And then they chase people down.
All right.
So we have better. So what do? So we have better policy, we have better licensing, we have better microchipping, we have better policing, enforcement, all that. And then we will do the education part.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
educate the owners and on how to keep your animals safe and make sure you neuter your animals so that they don't breed once they run out.
Yeah.
And then creating even more issues on the street.
Yes.
So when we can reduce that, we will have fewer cruelty cases.
All right.
All right. Well, that's visionary of me to even bring that up, lah. But it's very difficult to see, of course, because it's like very long term.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's one way to reduce intentional cruelty.
Yes.
Okay. For everyone, humanely, not by killing animals.
All right.
All right.
To find a brief solution
Yeah.
with taking into account all the people's opinions.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And then we also that way by the simple act of like neutering all the animals.
Yeah.
We actually the following effect is that we reduce the overpopulation, right?
Yeah.
There will be less conflict, human and animals conflict, because there's not much interaction anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then that will reduce the biosecurity issue because since there will be fewer strays and everything, there will be no concern of like rabies, because rabies usually is because of human go too near to animals, get
yes.
bitten, and then that's how you get
Yeah.
infected. So that's that lah. Other intentional cruelty will be like misinformation of animal care, or what we call self-medication.
Oh, okay.
It's actually quite a wide abuse issues in our country right now. A lot of people self-medicate their animals, thinking that they know best. So when the animal's sick, animal's injured, they just do what they think they know, and then try to treat the animals themselves, and then causing actually a lot of even worse or long-lasting issues in the animals that they cannot see immediately.
Oh, okay. Looks
right.
like people are becoming their own veterinarians.
Yeah, exactly. So that is not good. The worst example I saw was a couple of years ago. We had cat owners came in with swollen bodies and swollen face.
Oh.
We thought there's a special breed cat. No, apparently the cat has fever.
Okay.
Had fever a night before, and then the owners fed the cat with Panadols. Unknowingly, Panadol is actually poisonous to the cat, and then the cat started reacting to it.
Oh.
He only sent the cat to us the next day morning, and then we told him to immediately admit the cat to the hospital, but unfortunately it was too late. So I think like after 6-7 hours, the cat already passed away, according to the owner. So I'm not sure how true was that, but that's the thing lah.
Oh, okay.
Don't try to self-medicate. If your animal's like sick, injured, bring to a vet. It's not that expensive, right? To get it treated properly is better than the long-lasting effect of like not treating it like properly, and then you have even more costs that follow up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And then the other form of neglect will be like deprivation of food, water, and shelter. Lor. That's the most basic one. People sometimes don't feed their animals properly. They don't give water. They don't give fresh water or something like that, or don't provide shelter properly. Those are intentional cruelty. Okay,
yes.
now after the long story, let's go into unintentional cruelty.
Yes.
It has to do more on the unintentional neglect.
All right.
Like I said earlier, like the caging, the chaining.
Yeah.
Those are because people were misinformed.
Yeah.
Right. They thought, I have to keep my animals safe. I have to keep my animals safe from other people as well, because my animals are aggressive or defensive. So they just chain it up, not knowingly that the act of like caging and prolonged chaining actually making the animals worse.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, that's the thing. So we have to educate people again, lah. But people also always misunderstood the difference between aggression and defensive.
Okay.
They thought that every animals that have to be like jaga, like taking care of your house, must be aggressive. No, that's wrong. If an animal is aggressive, it means that it's going to just attack you, attack your owner, attack your mom, attack your dad, attack your kid. That's wrong. You need an animal that is defensive. Know who are the owners and who are not.
Yeah, true.
Right. So do not take an aggressive animals in just because you want it to be like a guardian of the house.
Yes.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Over the years, we keep on receiving calls like, I took in this dog by turning like aggressive. I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, because it's your own fault.
Yeah.
You didn't
True.
train the dog properly.
Yeah.
All right, and then other things will be the latest issue that I've seen in animals is that the improper nutrition cause a lot of medical issue.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not proven yet, but because of the Potong Royong, we had
Alright.
the opportunity to work with hundreds of animals.
Uh-huh.
So one of the case, I'd say one of the case lah, but it's actually a case of like close to about a dozen or more than that animals. After they being prepared for surgery, the heart rate just plop into the like gaung.
Oh,
So because they have been having like rice
all right.
as their only meal, so they
Okay.
don't get like proper nutrition.
Yeah.
So whenever they are sick, the body just the immune system just go down way faster than other animals.
Yeah.
Right.
Since
It
because
just
of lack
break
of
down.
nutrition.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing that everyone should look into. People think that what do they call it? Cat kibbles, dog kibbles are expensive.
Yeah.
You think about it lah. The whole bag of 20 kilo actually can last you 1 month, 2 months, and it's only like 300 ringgit.
Oh, okay.
You buy a pack of rice like 3-4 ringgit, and then let's say you add another chicken that will be like 6-7 ringgit
Yeah.
over the whole month.
Whole
Like it's going to cost you more, and
Yeah.
they still don't get enough nutrition
nutrition.
that way.
Yeah.
So I'll say just don't cheap out. Just buy a cat kibbles, which is already tested by the professionals that
Yeah.
provide enough nutrition. Just go with that. It's going to save you a lot more in terms of medical bills,
Ah, I see.
right? So yeah, so that'll be all.
So yeah, that was an interesting answer. So let's see to the next question. So before that, so let us summarize the first question that educate yourself before you're buying a cat or a dog, and notably don't become your own veterinarians. Yeah. So let's go to the second question. So the second question will be, how can we recognize the signs of animal cruelty in different settings, such as factory farms, pet ownership, and etc.
Okay, I'll just say this one is actually quite fast, quite easy and precise, because how do you know whenever animals like being subjected to cruelty, right? There are actually 5 freedoms that we base. Freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from normal behaviors and all that. You can Google it up. As long as any animals deprived of these 5 freedoms, they are constitute animal cruelty. It's that simple.
Oh, okay. Well, that was really brief answer. So without delaying, we'll go to the third question.
Yeah.
So beyond physical abuse, what are other forms of neglect can harm pets, and how can we ensure their well-being as well?
Okay, this is an interesting angle because I'm coming from animal center, so
Yeah.
my view will be different from pet owners,
Yes.
and even different from rescuers.
Yeah.
Because in our center we have like hundreds and hundreds of animals, so we actually all this while no one actually prioritize the mental health of animals.
Yeah.
Because they can rescue, they bring in, and then causing the overpopulation of the shelter itself.
Yes.
So that causes a lot of fight, a lot of tension among animals, because when the animals was like outside on the street, they had a freedom of like maybe per square kilometer there were only like maybe 5-10 animals, but then
Yeah.
suddenly you squeeze them into like less than 20 meters room, square room,
Alright.
and then suddenly there's like 20-30 animals in there.
Animals in there. Yeah.
So the stress is bound to like go up.
Yeah.
So I'll say mental health is something that we should all study and look into as well in animals.
Okay. So mental health still matters even for animals.
Yes.
That's really impressive. I've never heard of that
Yep.
before. So let's go to the fourth question. So what are some inspiring stories of your animal rescue and rehabilitation? I think you have explained on it. So
Yeah.
any other expertise or any other experiences or some unique experiences that you have came through?
So say back in the flood 2021, there was a team of rescuers. They went inside the flood zone, ground zero.
Uh-huh.
The water was like about knee high, remember, like 2-3 feet high.
Oh, okay.
And then there's this one house in particular, the gate was open, and they found a cage of cats abandoned in the house with the cage locked.
Ooh.
So what happened to the cats? The cats died. They couldn't do anything. So this is not a happy story, sorry.
Yeah,
It's actually
it's not.
like totally
Yeah.
opposite of your question. But I'd like to bring on this
The
tips lah.
inspiring part.
The inspiring part. No, well, not
Yeah.
really, but tips lah to owners. When you are in emergency situation,
Uh-huh.
try to bring your animals with you. They are part of your family,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, true.
Okay, that if, let's say you are in the situation that you can't, maybe you have other priorities or you are incapable. Let's say it's super emergency, and then maybe the lack of resources and whatever.
Yeah.
At least give the animals a choice, a chance to run away,
Yeah.
to save themselves.
True. Yes.
Don't trap them inside the cage,
Yeah.
because
True.
it was so heartbreaking during that flood aid. That was not only the first case. We saw so many animals trapped inside the house, trapped inside the cage.
No.
Back then, the peak of the flood during the Sri Muda flood, remember, it was up to the roof level.
Yeah.
So imagine what happened going to the animals if you trap the animals inside the house.
Yeah.
They have nowhere to run. They'll just die by drowning.
Yes.
So yeah, let's not do that.
So yeah, that was a really sad story. But although the inspiring part of the story was the team rescue took their time and risked their life in order to
Yeah.
save those animals in that flood zone.
They tried.
Yeah,
Try their
that's
best.
the most inspiring thing. And remember, guys, try to make your animals to be a part of your family, and they are indeed a part of your family. So during emergency time, like how Mr. Kelvin said just now, try to to bring along with you. If you can't do that, just uncage the cage so they could save themselves. So let's go to the fifth question. So should there be a stricter regulations on animal welfare in various industries? Why and why not?
Interestingly, we actually have a set of new Animal Welfare Act 2015, which was gazetted in 2017.
All right.
So it's quite a comprehensive act by itself. It covers like 21 offenses, and then there's a minimum penalty right now should you commit any animal cruelty offense. That
Yeah.
is about 20,000 for individual and like 200,000 for like industries or like businesses.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a restriction of like owning of animals should you get convicted. And
Alright.
then there's a jail sentence. It's a very good act. All right, it's very well correct, updated lah, not corrected
Updated,
lah, right?
yeah.
Updated. However, we are severely lacking in the enforcement of the acts.
Yeah.
All right. Over the years, we have heard so many people like filing a cruelty complaints, right?
Oh, okay.
But not enough actions being taken, or
Yeah.
like the enforcement, they don't go a bit further to make
Yes.
sure that the offending party learn like what they're doing is wrong. So
Yeah.
that's our issue right now. The act itself is fine. The act itself, like honestly speaking, it deals with like a lot of humane issue. It deals a lot with ethics,
Yeah.
but just the enforcement.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In my opinion, I do think that the Animal Welfare Act 2017 was really good because they provide sanctions and protections to animal cruelty as
Yeah.
well. But the failure to enforce such act is the really sad part.
Yeah.
So I think that the government authorities still trying their
Yeah.
best in order to effectively enforce the act. So let's go for the sixth question. And sadly, that's the last question for you, Mr. Kelvin. So, what are some effective ways to advocate for animal rights and combat cruelty? I think this question is interrelated to the previous question.
Yeah, it is. So first thing is of course the legal side of it. Like we
Yeah.
need a good back what do you call it, like a foundation. So the foundation is the legal side. The law must provide
A better
yes,
protections to the
protection
animals.
for the animals. But then second thing will be what we think the best way to make people aware
Yeah.
and educated or well informed is through education. There's no other ways.
Yeah.
Right, we should start from like say primary school, kids that learn how to handle animals and then learn
Yeah.
what the animals need in terms of welfare, not just like feeding, right? Yeah,
Yes.
well, of course, feeding is also like a knowledge by
part
itself,
of it.
right? We don't feed like just rice, like what we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
But these kind of things can only be taught. It cannot be just posters on the wall and then expect people to just pass by and then learn. We
Yeah.
have to impart knowledge by giving them active things to do,
Yes.
hands-on. So which is why our volunteering is very powerful in any, not just SPCA, but any societies out there. Through volunteering, the people can learn a lot. Volunteering also not just specifically for people who have interest in the field. It can be like for new owners or for people who has no knowledge at all in handling animals.
Yeah.
So our volunteering always open up for people who like to learn from zero.
Oh.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, we live in a society where not everyone is an animal lovers.
Yes.
Right. We have to take into account the input from other parties as well.
As well,
So
yes.
they may not want to help. I mean, like they may not want to help animals. That's a bit harsh, but they may not want to do any active work that has to do in helping animals.
Yes.
But it's helpful for them to learn how to handle animals so that they don't get nervous or panic when they are on the street seeing animals trying to go up to them and then maybe trying to play.
Yeah.
And then mistaken that as the animals is trying to attack me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So that's very important. Education. And then second thing will be we are still trying to do a lot of stronger enforcement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how we're going to do that because that has to do with a lot of government resources.
Yeah.
Right. If they do not have the resources, the enforcement just going to suffer. So, but we will not stop lobbying for that lah.
Oh, okay. So from what Mr. Kelvin have said just now, I understood that the foundation part, which is the legislation and the advocates that governs and protects animal cruelty, are really good. But however, we have to make this scope more wider, that we have to teach people in order to how to prevent animal cruelty as well.
Yep.
So it's not enough just take a poster and expect people to learn themselves, but we have to
Give them opportunity to
yes,
work.
give them opportunities to work and conduct and learn from it how to prevent animal cruelty and make sure that the animals are in a peaceful life as well. So we have came to the conclusion part of our podcast today. So animal cruelty is a serious issue, but there are ways to make a difference. So we can all do our part. And together with compassion and action, we can create a world where all animals are treated with kindness and respect. Be the voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. Until next time, remember, kindness matters. And thank you for listening.